What is up, guys? If you know me, you already know. My name is Stefano Colombo, but for those who doesn't know me here on this channel, I shoot wedding most of the time. I live in the Seychelles and it's so blessed to live here. Been a couple of rainy days, but it's sunny again outside and I say, let's film this before I leave the house. I want to share what I shoot underwater with. I see sometime in my comment on Instagram like, what camera do I use to shoot? What's my lens? What's my gear setup pretty much? And to begin with, I shoot with the Canon R5 45 megapixel sensor. Does really help a lot underwater. 4K 120, really good. You have that super slow-mo. But the housing that I actually use is from Seafrog. Actually, Seafrog. I bought this from Seafrog. I use the light, which I have one here and one here. They're not super strong. I do a lot of work from a dive center, a friend of mine, and he actually had me quite a pretty decent light, which I normally have it on this side. I will have one small light on the top and then Insta360 is from my BTS that I post on my Instagram. So that's pretty much the dome that I use. It's a 6-inch dome plastic. I want to upgrade from an 8-inch dome glass, which are much more expensive but much better. If you don't know, shooting with wide lenses with a plastic dome will have your edges not look as sharp as your lens would normally be sharp, and shooting with a glass dome, especially 8 inches, you can get those 50-50 shots, and the shots, it's sharp from corner to corner. An example, if you're shooting f9 or f10, you're gonna have like a pretty image, sharp image all the way through your corners, but the glass dome doesn't give you that kind of sharpness edge to edge. So that's why I want to upgrade. Yeah, so I use a Seafrog for the Canon R5. It goes down to 40 meters depth. I would love to have an Aquatica case, but quite expensive. Seafrog is quite an affordable brand. This case cost me around, with the dome, with the vacuum pump and everything, I think around $1,000. But then, what do I shoot with underwater? I use the 15 to 35 from Canon. Amazing lens. And then I do shoot. Recently I got the RF 100 macro. Amazing lens. Honestly, I didn't expect to love macro that much. I just did 2 dives with this lens and I cannot swear on YouTube, but yeah, it's super nice. Like, to be honest, diving in Seychelles, you don't always see like big sharks or like whale sharks. So you see rays, you see turtles, but you don't see, I don't see most of the time things that excite me like sharks or whale sharks or anything big, you know. We don't see that every day while diving. So focusing on the small subject that you always have them around, but you don't focus on them because they're so small, and with a 100 millimeter macro, you enlarge that subject so much. This is just a BTS that I shot a few days ago. It was a little crab, and on the Insta360 you can barely see the crab. That's the image right here. It's the bloody crab. So this is pretty much my images that I took recently, and this is my setup filming underwater. I'm waiting for Godox diving tube to arrive. I've ordered them with B&H, but they were out of stock. Apparently they're gonna ship it on the 15th of July, which on the 14th of July it's my birthday, but anyway, it's gonna be delayed. We shall see when I have them, because I do use another light from the dive center, which they lend me. It's much stronger and it's much direct beam than these 2 small lights. There you go. But yeah, so that is my underwater setup. So I use the 15 to 35 2.8 and the 100 millimeter macro 2.8. Again, super nice. And I will say something, shooting macro underwater, and you need to have your buoyancy spot on, especially when you're filming on corals, because you don't want to put your fins or your body on corals. You don't want to touch the corals. You can try and grab a rock just to get a bit more stabilized. but you need to have your buoyancy like really good, because photos is one thing. Like when you do macro, my shot is pretty much going to be like f9, f11. I'm never going to be at 2.8 because it's going to be too shallow. I want to have the actual subject in focus. But then when I step back, maybe I'm not in macro anymore, I'm just at 100 millimeter focal length, kind of originals, 100 millimeter focal length, then it's different. But in macro, you want to shoot like f9, f11, even higher sometimes, depending how big is your subject that you're making it bigger. But yeah, definitely it's a challenge. I didn't use to shoot macro underwater before, and I do it 2 times. The first time was worse. The second time, I'm kind of getting better, but also the light positioning, it's challenging because you need to use the arm to focus the light again. You need to keep your buoyancy level. You need to keep focusing on your subject. So definitely are some challenges there, but I took some good shots out of a few thousands of shots that I took on that day. But yeah, that's my underwater setup. And if you have any question underwater, let me know what you think. You can follow me on Instagram. You can subscribe to this channel if you like. But I will just share my thoughts, what I do, what I don't do. Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video.